welcome to the Dig Into English podcast with Ben Henschke, episode 8. Hey everyone, this is Ben and I'm back with the 8th episode of the Dig Into English podcast. I'm recording this episode a bit later than I wanted to because I was flying from Vienna back to Adelaide. Well, actually, I was flying from Vienna to Frankfurt, then to Dubai, then to Sydney, then finally to Adelaide. And do you know what? Only 3 out of my 4 planes were late. That's better than usual. In this episode, I'm going to talk about travel. Just like in the last episode, I'm going to start with a quotation. It's from St. Augustine, who was a philosopher who lived in the 4th and 5th centuries. He said that the world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page. Do you agree? If you ask me, travel is one of the things that make life worth living. You can meet people from other countries, explore new places, and learn more about the world. You can even take lots of photos and make your Facebook friends jealous. Another fun part is that you can practice languages that you're learning. I think it's polite to try to speak a bit of the local language when you visit another country. So I do my best. I wish more native English speakers would think like this as well. If you can understand this podcast, then I think your English is good enough for you to practice it with native speakers, either in an English-speaking country or on Skype. Why not give it a try? Everyone enjoys different things when they travel. Many people travel so that they can relax by the beach or stay in a luxurious hotel. The word luxurious comes from the word luxury, and it means comfortable and often expensive. For me, though, that's boring. I want to experience new things, meet new people, and do things that I couldn't do at home. If I'm totally exhausted after a trip, then I know I've enjoyed myself. If you're young and poor, like me, you might not stay in a luxurious hotel. Instead, you might choose a youth hostel or a backpacker's hostel. The word backpacker comes from the big bag that travelers carry on their back, but we use it when we talk about any kind of young traveler who is traveling cheaply. Youth hostels are cheaper, but you often have to share your room with people you don't know. You don't have any privacy, which means that you don't have any space to be alone. It can be annoying when people from your room come into the room late at night or leave early in the morning. The last time I stayed in a youth hostel, I shared a room with someone who sounded like a motorcycle when he slept. Unfortunately, if you want to sleep properly, you might need to pay some extra money for a private room. I did some research and found out which places Australians most like to visit. The most popular overseas travel destinations for Australians are New Zealand, Indonesia, the US, Thailand, and the UK. Over 1 million Australians visit New Zealand every year, and almost 1 million visit Indonesia. Many Australians who visit Indonesia travel to Bali, which is a beautiful island that is famous for its beaches. In fact, I've heard that there are so many Australians in Bali that sometimes you can even forget that you've left Australia. Most of the visitors to Australia come from New Zealand, the US, the UK, China, and Japan. Sadly, the number of tourists from Japan has halved in the last 10 years, so it's reduced by 50%. If you're from Japan, come and visit me. I really need to practice my Japanese. As I said in episode 6 when I talked about Adelaide, most of these tourists visit Sydney, Cairns, the Gold Coast, and Uluru. They might also look at some Australian animals in wildlife parks. These are similar to zoos, but the animals can walk around more freely. This means that you can walk up to kangaroos and touch them, or maybe even hold a koala. Yes, your friends will definitely be jealous if you post a photo of that on Facebook. Well, that's it for today's episode. I hope I've given you the travel bug, which means I've made you want to travel as well. Remember that the entire script of this episode and some explanations of difficult phrases are available for free from this episode's page, digintoenglish.com/episode 8. What do you like to do when you travel? Do you prefer to relax, or do you spend the whole day exploring new things? Let me know in a comment. I hope you have the opportunity to travel soon. Before I go, I quickly want to thank some listeners who have given me some feedback on the podcast. Thank you so much to Yere from Spain, Sarunas from Lithuania, Evgeny from Russia, and Maureen from Australia. It means a lot to me when listeners write to me. If you'd like to give me some feedback or suggest a topic for an episode, you can email me at contact@digintoenglish.com or send me a tweet at digintoenglish. Speaking of travelling, I'll be back soon with the next episode of our tour around Australia. This time, we'll be visiting Australia's capital, Canberra. I'm still a bit tired from my flight, so I might travel to bed. Sorry, that was meant to be a joke. We don't say travel to bed. Look, I've started teaching you bad English. I should get some rest. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.